task is on a more level playing field with the superstar Greg Inglis matching the legend from the Peninsula, Stephen Menzies. So Matty Orford taking Manly out. Keep our eyes out for Glenn Stewart, make sure he's there for a start. Last time these two sides played at Brookie, Manly won 13-12 with Orford a field goal at the 77th minute. Winning the game, Georgie Rose broke a leg, Billy Slater a cheekbone. It was, to say the least, a fierce contest. Not in front of a crowd as big as this, though. And it also continued on the tradition of home sides winning. 11 times they've played at respective home grounds. Only once has the visiting side been successful. That was 99 here at Brookvale. Brett Stewart at the back on the end of that ferocious tackle in the grand final that many people remember as the turning point that saw the gates open and Melbourne surged to victory. 50 games tonight for him. And Anthony Watmoe is back after 2 weeks nursing a knee which had an arthroscopy, I believe, last week, and it's proven successful removal of some floating bone. Tony Archer's the referee. This is the top of the table. What's really on the line? Maybe the minor premiership if Manly win, almost certainly. They'll take home the Gildan and Shield at the end of the year. They kick off, or should I say Melbourne, running towards the southern end. And it's with Manly. And you will find automatically, I would imagine, this similarity between the colours, the maroon of Manly and the purple of Melbourne. They probably couldn't have picked a script that was harder for fans to identify. So it's with Brent Clyde who goes down the right side, almost to the halfway line. It's gone away from Orford but gone forward. Williams picks it up and a scrum will pack down. It was an ordinary pass from Matty Orford.
Yeah, not a good start from Orford. He has had a happy time with the last couple of times they've met against Melbourne, and there's a lot of feeling between these two clubs. They come together. Orford needs a good start. He didn't get one. It's going to be a big test of him tonight not to get frustrated. Let's have a look. He wraps around the short side. And you can just see Matty Guy just got the arm there, so a good start from Melbourne.
And a bit of shove and a bit of push that followed. Scrum packing on halfway. Here's Folau going into the traditional 5/8 position. Now it's come away to the front row forward, White. And he's tackled on the 40-metre line. Melbourne extracting a penalty.
And then you left it there and worked it.
Working him is the order. It was around the chest and he went up high. And Tony Archer ruling against the number 10, Josh Perry. So Melbourne get a chance very early on, just inside the 20-metre line. Manly's into the park, and that's Lima. 11 metres away from the Manly line. He'll play the ball back for Cameron Smith, who dummies open. Go! Oh, what a shot from Matai! Matai hammering Cameron Smith. Again, they work to Matai's side, and Orford had a go at Folau. That was David versus Goliath. It's Melbourne a metre out from the line. Cameron Smith okay after that contact. Now it's away to Greg Inglis. He tries to put the trademark fend on Ballon, and eventually he's pulled down by Clyde and Glenn Stewart. Now it's with Hoffman, and Hoffman is 7 metres out from the Manly line. Cameron Smith then goes back to Cronk, and the kick is neat, and it's across to Folau. The bat down comes to Matai, and he will play the ball for Manly 10 metres out from his line.
Your man, Steve Matai, look at that, kabang! A massive hit in the early stages of the game, signalling Manly's intent to play this one physical. Good shot.
It's on.
Now there's a fighting back play. They go in from several quarters, and immediately it's quenched.
Well, a lot of feeling in this one. Michael Crocker, remember the grand final last year, a big shot on Stewart. Manly have fired some shots at Crocker in the build-up. Let's have a look at this. Crocker comes in. Nothing in that so far. And Brent Kite, this has got up and the boys are into it. Blowing off a little bit of steam, Gus.
Well, we predicted this. We dead set predicted this. The crowd are screaming for him to go off. I don't know what he's done wrong.
He didn't throw a punching ball. And listen, we've reviewed it. All he got up was play the ball and move forward, didn't you? Don't retaliate and start throwing punches, mate. Keep a cool head on it.
So the penalty will go the way of Manly.
There we go, penalty. Now this, I tell you, it's a lonely place for this next guy who takes the hit up. Here we go, get ready to this. The next guy who takes the hit up from Manly is going to earn his money. This is real hostile. Great feeling in the stadium.
Orford finding the line. 30 metres out from his own try line, and here's Kite taking them on, and Crocker was there together with Johnson, and Kite got up just clutching at his shoulder. Watmo has put it down, and zero tackle is called by referee Tony Archer. So again Melbourne coming up with possession just on the Manly side of halfway. This is Lima who plays the ball, and Smith gives it away to Johnson. They go second man to Cronk, and then Slater and back to Inglis on the inside. So 30 metres away now from the Manly line. It'll be played by Greg Inglis, and they go left side. Away to Cronk, and he got a ball away that was suspect. Not called forward. It's passed at close quarters to Hoffman. Here's Geyer with the ball now, and he's picked up and taken outside the 20-metre line. Losing 3 metres in possession. Play the ball from Geyer sloppy. Cronk gets it away to Johnson. He goes burrowing back, and the markers accommodate him in the middle of the ground. Now it's going to the blind side, with Smith getting it on to Hoffman's right foot, and it's gone far too deep. And it'll come away for an easy get-out from your red zone for Manly.
Here's the Menzies hit on Cooper Cronk after he passed the ball. The one thing I noticed about the Manly defence tonight is that they're coming up very quickly. They're cutting down the thinking time and the playing time for these Melbourne Storm players. That's a big change to what they've done in previous weeks, where sides have easily got outside them.
Here's Maddai now. He dealt it out early, and now he's coughed up the ball, so Manly again unable to complete a set, and again coughing it up on an early tackle. Geyer away to Cronk, back to Slater. Maddai has a shot at Slater in the back play. Turner goes down the right side, 30 metres out from the Manly try line. It's gone from Folau to Crocker, and Crocker runs into a swarm of Manly defenders, including Glenn Hall and Brent Kite. They were there, but not before Anthony Watmo. Cronk away. It's now with White, and he takes it to the 20-metre line and a little beyond. He'll play the ball in the middle of the field, tackled by Josh Perry. It's a short side play for Cronk to Crocker. The run around to Cronk and back to Folau. And Folau, the 19-year-old, he'll play the ball 9 metres out from the line. Slater, a dummy half. Dummy's open, goes blind. And Crocker is tackled a metre out from the line and a metre in from the touchline. Turner is the dummy half for Melbourne. Long ball finding Cronk. Again, the little kick across. Menzies underneath it. So was Brent Stewart. Melbourne came down with it. They lost the ball, and David Williams has got it for Manly. Fast and furious. And here's Brent Kite taking them on. He almost looks like he'd do it single-handedly at the moment. Brent Kite, he's been in everything. Now Watmo takes it up. Then he thrusts it back out to Brent Kite again. And he's outside the 30-metre line when tackled by Melbourne. Wide over the top of Johnson. Played back for Ballon and given away to Glenn Hall. He does well. He makes about 10 metres. Gets it to within 5 metres of Melbourne's territory. And that part of the ground Manly has not yet seen. Now the kick down deep into the corner. Slater knows it's going in touching goal. And it's a 20-metre restart for the Melbourne Storm.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt we're watching the two top teams in the competition. I'm not sure that there are any other teams in the NRL at the moment who can provide an opening gambit like these two teams have just shown us. It's physical.
So Melbourne away from their 30-metre line with White. State of origin prop forward, playing the ball back to Cameron Smith, who dummied blindside and then went back open side around the front of the man that played the ball to Turner. He now plays the ball. Smith gives it on. Hoffman takes it ahead. And Hoffman will play the ball. The everywhere man. 42 metres out from the Manly line. It's gone away to Cronk and inside. Here is Slater. Down the left side goes Slater. Got it to old Matty Geyer. And the veteran goes in to score. Matt Geyer, 32 years of age, in his final year of NRL, has scored for Melbourne. A Slater play down the left side. Supporting inside is Matty Geyer. And this veteran has gone in to score off a beautiful ball from Slater.
KFC's new hot and spicy fillets hot box has a full-on flavour hit. 2 hot and spicy fillets and sides.
Oh, what's it like?
Can't beat it, can't beat it. KFC's fillets hot box.
Can't beat that taste.
You're back at Brookie. Wonderful try for Melbourne's Matt Geyer. 260th top-grade game tonight. 3 grand finals for Melbourne he's played in, and obviously he's won twice. And that cracked the 650 points and his 111th try right here in front of the Brookvale crowd tonight. Cameron Smith 20 metres in, 17 out. Will attempt conversion of the Matt Geyer try, which came at the 8th minute of the game. And Smith makes no mistakes. It's 6-0 in favour of Melbourne.
Well, as Gus said at the start, Melbourne started with a lot of sideways ball movement. They've flip-flopped on their tactic. They centralised their attack this set of 6. And it results with Cooper Cronk driving deeper than the markers, getting at the front rowers, inside ball. That's their pet play, that partnership. And look at that ball. Another highlight reel moment from Billy Slater. Storm in front.
Matty Orford kicks off, and Matt Geyer watches it going, sailing over his head down towards White. And he's tackled 15 metres out from the Melbourne line. Played by White then, and Smith goes with a short ball away to Lima, coming up on his right side. To the 20-metre line then Melbourne, and now Jay Hoffman takes it up, and he's picked up, or should I say Ryan Hoffman, his father Jay. And playing the ball on the 30-metre line, Cameron Smith to Jeff Lima, and Lima to the 40-metre line. So this is what Melbourne do. They just take it out through the forwards like, I guess, most other clubs, but seldom do they chance their arm back inside their own 20-metre line. Here's Stewart coming back. 6-0 to score. As it comes away with David Williams. Let's go to the sideline. Ben Eichen doing the job tonight. Yes, Ben?
Well, what a start to the game this has been from both sides. The Melbourne Storm in particular, although I do feel that the Manly team have been defending well. Just a quick update on Glenn Stewart. After some early concerns, the medical staff have told us it was just some muscle tightness in his shoulder. He should be right to get through the game.
Let's hope that is the case. Here's Josh Perry with the ball. And Perry will play the ball 8 metres into Melbourne's area. Bell on the 9. Off at the 7. Away then to the 13, Glenn Stewart. Seemed to have freedom in his passing as it goes to Bell, the former Melburnian who left at the wrong time. Melbourne, I mean. Orford puts a kick in, and you could say ditto for him. Here's Slater raking it down. It's a try for Manly. The Prince of Manly has gone over to score, I fancy.
Well, we'll check the onside, we'll check the grounding. But I did notice prior to the game, just before kickoff, the breeze came up very strong. It's swirling. And Billy Slater totally misjudges the landing in this one. Orford throws it up high in the air. It's got a little bit of spin on it. And Slater seems to jump very early. And it gets away behind him. And he mistimes it. It's picked up by Stewart. Stewart puts it down. Now, where was Stewart in relation to the kicker? We'll pick him up there in a moment. I think he's out to the right.
They're looking for a push on Quinn. Look, I don't think Quinn actually put Slater off, but I think that's what the video referees have to look at, Gus.
Yeah, but that's I mean, Quinn was putting himself there to protect the fullback.
Sure.
They can't take that off him. They're looking at Stewart knocking Quinn over. But Quinn's in it, you know, that you can't get out of the way. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
It does nothing to Slater, who drops the ball. Stewart doesn't touch Slater. That's a try. You're jumping at shadows if you try to take that off him. No way in the world can they penalise Manly for pushing Anthony Quinn there.
You're tempted to think that Quinn has moved into a position to put himself in the road of the approach from Stewart. It's no try penalty. It's no try penalty.
Well, that is a disgrace. My God. That is a disgrace.
I mean, if players are going there to block fellas coming or trying to spoil the play, then boy, oh boy. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They need footballers in the video ref box, not referees. I'm convinced of that.
We'll get Tommy in there next week.
There's Hasler. The disappointment of having a try disallowed. And here's Lima now, taking it out to the 40-metre line. 6-0 the score in favour of Melbourne. And you've just seen Manly having a try disallowed. This is Johnson. He'll play the ball 7 metres on his own side of the halfway. Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Greg Inglis. And here's Inglis, outside one, losing the ball. And it's gone forward. It'll be a scrum. It'll be a Manly loose head and feed.
And there you see the other tactic from the Storm, pushing it through the hands. Manly nice and compressed. They're going to get the ball into Israel Folau and Inglis's hands early. Give him a chance to having a hot night. And the ball just comes loose. We'll have a scrum and an opportunity for Manly. But the form this guy's in at the moment, he's on a different planet.
Well, you're anticipating, as I was, it would be a scrum, but I think you'll find they're doing an examination upstairs. It'll be criminal if it went against Manly again, but thankfully it hasn't. Here's Menzies, and he stands in a 3-man tackle for a moment or so. Plays the ball on the 40-metre line. Glenn Stewart with the ball coming off his right foot and taking it just into Melbourne's area. Now it was Ballon out from dummy half. Melbourne wrestled him down. No call from Archer at all on that occasion, even though in the background you can hear the crowd groaning on every tackle. Play by Watmoe. Ballon short, Orford quick, on the back of the play, on the back of the ruck to Kite. And Kite will play the ball 20 metres away from the Melbourne line. Now Orford, does Manly have another go at scoring a try? The kick is batted in field by Robertson. But it's travelled forward apparently, and it's a changeover 10 metres out for Melbourne.
Wow, that was nearly a miracle play, wasn't it? That ball could have gone anywhere. As it was, he was ruled to go forward, but did well to get it back in play.
Cameron Smith using Lima again. Just beyond the 20-metre line. So an improvement of 12 metres there for Manly, or for Melbourne, I should say. Here's Crocker. Crocker to ground, and he's attracting a lot of attention. Is Michael Crocker.
And he'll be loving it.
Cameron Smith belted by Manly. 32 metres out from his line. Glenn Stewart leading the defence. Here's Inglis running at his opposite number. And Menzies is the front man in the tackle. Play back for Hoffman. Now for Cronk. Menzies tried to put a charge down on him. The kick goes straight to Brett Stewart. Game number 50 tonight at Brookvale. Played the ball 30 metres away from his own line for Robertson, the winger, to come in and take a quick dart up to the 40-metre line. To the right side for David Williams to run and beat Matt Guy. Two other Storm players go in to make the tackle. As Manly go to the right to Stewart now. The second rower, or should I say lock forward. Playing the ball on the 40-metre line from Ballon. It's found Orford. He's gone back to the right, to the blind for Bell. And Bell, he's gone through. He's got one to beat Stephen Bell. and he's pulled down 5 away. Brilliant tackle by Billy Slater. Williams to Orford. Orford goes back to the short side, puts a kick in. Penalty Manly. They weren't back the required margin, and a penalty goes to Manly down in a corner that provided the doom and gloom just 5 minutes ago. Tap taken by Ballard. Brent Kite looking at them, saying, come and get me. You've wanted me all night, here I am again. Hall surging and putting the ball down. Now they're going to examine another Manly attempt to try. Glenn Hall is very, very confident.
Well, if they don't give this one, I don't think the referees will get out of here alive. Hall down before the line, but gets it down the second time. That is a try to Manly. Justice has been served. The home side are on the board. I'm confident of that.
I can tell you, Gus, all the fans right in front of us here at the grandstand are all turning around at the video referee, just staring and glaring. Here comes the decision, no doubt. This is going to be a try.
Well, the crowd rejoices. They persisted. They had one denied. They got this one at the 17th minute.
Here it is, the new Holden Sport Wagon. Yes, it's a wagon. Practical, functional, reliable. But it's also a wagon with the word sport in front of it. Some people used to call the wagon a rep's car. But now, that rep looks like a fashion designer, feels like he's driving a sports car, and still fits 3 kids and a pram in the back. We haven't just reinvented the wagon, we've smashed it up, thrown it out, and started again. The new Holden Sport Wagon. Go better.
Well, there's the man of the moment. Glenn Hall scored the first try in the match last weekend, and tonight the first try for Manly. And Matai has got the goal-kicking duties again tonight. 11 metres out, right in front for Manly's centre three-quarter, who put a shot on Cam Smith of gigantic proportions early. Matai converts, and the top 2 teams are level.
He's a very good player, Stephen Bell. They gave him little room to move down the right-hand side of the field, but look at the move he puts on Inglis and Hoffman there. Right foot, left foot. He couldn't get around Billy Slater, but he left them grasping it there. And then Young Hall barges his way through the defence, right through the meat of the forwards to come up with Manly's first try. They're back in the game, and will feel much better for that.
They might also be feeling they should be leading 12-6. A disallowed try for Brett Stewart. It'll be the centre of a lot of discussions over the weekend. You better believe it, as Hall plays the ball on the kick return. Now it's away for Bryant, who's on for Josh Perry. 30-metre line for Bryant, and they go to the short side again for Glenn Stewart. Shoulder problem during training, or should I say during the warm-up. And a needle, I would imagine. His brother it was that got the ball on to Ballon, who's got a lot more equipment in his bag than we first thought. He's really blossomed, hasn't he, Ballon? And here's Anthony Quinn now, bringing it away towards the 30-metre line, Melbourne's end of the ground, Ben Eichen.
Rabs, after what was a slow start for the Sea Eagles, a lot of drop ball, they fought their way back into it. And I tell you what, I reckon this crowd here tonight's going to have plenty to do with it. I've been to heaps of football games this year, and I have not felt a buzz around the ground like this before. It is jam-packed, and they are right in this match. They're cheering for their team. Here's Jeffrey Lima with the ball. Well, this is really the Olympic Park situation on the flip side, isn't it? Teams go down there, they visit the graveyard, and they're up against a crowd 99% against them. Melbourne are witnessing that tonight as Stewart brings it back.
Just watch this set of 6. The speed and movement of the Manly forwards is really worrying Melbourne. Melbourne thought they control a ruck better than everyone, but tonight they're having a little bit of trouble. Manly look very, very good.
To the 40-metre line goes David Williams. Penalty Manly. Too long in the tackle is the ruling.
And again, that's just a result of someone poking their nose through, putting pressure on the tacklers. Now Manly get a tap start. We're going to see a nice little something new from Manly, something we or the Storm haven't seen before. Let's have a look.
Here's Ryan taking it ahead off the tap, off the free kick. Plays it 35 away from the line, centre of the ground, and Kite. He's been very strong in the opening exchanges.
He's been terrific. He's taken them on.
Play by Kite then, and Ballon goes to Orford. Orford away to Glenn Stewart. And that seemed as though either he had a problem or somebody got in front of him that was intended for the ball. Now it's with Menzies, and Menzies will play it. He's 18 metres away, as you can see. Right in front of the uprights, up at the northern end. Ballon, Orford to Kite, and Kite gets it back for Orford. Orford goes wide now. He picks up Steve Bell. Bell steps off his left foot, and Bell will play the ball. 5 gone for Manly, 5 away from the line. Play back to Ballon. Back it comes to Orford. Orford puts a kick out, and it's marked in goal by Steve Turner.
They're the sort of fifth tackle options that let Matt Orford down. His team's on a roll. They're putting heap of pressure on. They needed a restart, and he's gifted them a 20-metre tap. And they're the little things that just bug his game every now and then.
So here's Israel Folau. And the Manly tackle might have been a bit lucky to get away. That was Maddai. Now Turner, and he's put down 8 metres from halfway.
I can tell you Manly's body language has changed. They've conceded a penalty here, but in the first 7 or 8 minutes, they looked a little bit uncertain. They're enthusiastic. They wanted to get into it, but didn't quite know how to go about it. Since they've scored, their whole body language has changed. Their demeanour's changed.
So it just shows you the big momentum swing from a poor last tackle play. 22 tap penalty. Now all of a sudden the Seagulls under a lot of pressure.
Here's Lima with a big surge. Watmo hit him with his shoulder. Kite was in the tackle. Williamson is on. Cameron Smith gets it to Michael Crocker. And Maddai puts the arms around him and takes him to ground. Play back to Cam Smith, and now it's gone to Lima again. And he'll play the ball, Lima, just outside the 10-metre line. Smith it is, comes blindside to Cronk, and they go behind Folau. Slater is picked off by Maddai. Robertson having a piece of the tackle as it spun away to Cronk and gone on to Crocker, and now to Johnson. And Johnson is 10 away from the uprights. At the southern end, they go to the left again. Cronk it is, away for Inglis. Put down by Matty Dyer. Dave Williams comes away with it for Manly. That was dangerous for Manly. Bryant. I fancy they had the numbers, Melbourne. Ballon around the front of the play, the ball. Oh, Robertson. Picked up and dumped on the ground by Inglis. 33 out from the Manly line. Menzies to the 40. Three-man Melbourne tackle. Lima made the first. Then a couple of others went in. Johnson and Blair kicked down the ground. Orford missed it. Glenn Stewart got it. Thrust it out the back. Came off the head of Bell. Tackled back inside his 20 is Manly. Played there by Quinn. Well, there's Blair giving a dummy. I don't know who to. Fact. He plays the ball inside the 30-metre line for Turner. Now the other winger, Quinn, runs into Williamson.
Number 14, Jeremy Smith.
40 metres out. 40 metres out from their own line. Matt Geyer trying to weave his way through the ruck area. Got the first try of the night. If you had something on the first try scorer, it was Matt Geyer for Melbourne. This kick is good. Finding the line a metre out from the corner post.
Rabbits, last night on the footy show and again before the game, we highlighted Manly's defence in the last few weeks out wide, where they've sat back and allowed opportunities for their opposition on the outside. Look at it tonight, racing up quickly, zeroing in on ball players coming from the deep. On both sides of the field, they've cut down dangerous situations by taking a chance and going together in numbers. We haven't seen that for weeks. But tonight, in their biggest game, they're producing their best defence. Brent Kite gets a well-earned rest. He has been sensational in the opening 25 minutes of this game.
And Cuthbertson comes on, Gus. Been a great first 25 minutes. A lot of tight forwards out there. Cuthbertson's skill could be a feature in this game. Could be crucial for Manly.
Maddai playing the ball just outside his 10-metre line. Here's Cuthbertson, his first carry of the night. And he's pulled down 20 metres away from his own line, and Glenn Stewart comes bouncing and bumping his way through. Good run by the lock forward.
Give me one of them needles.
Now from Walford and gone to Bryant, and Bryant crosses the 40-metre line.
Right, drop your trousers, Gouldy.
Ballon goes 3 paces, then Orford, then Menzies.
I've got a line there, but I'm not going to use it.
Menzies gets a ball away. Orford goes back to Bryant, who came from a standing start. Bryant playing at 40 metres away. And on the last tackle, Orford puts a kick in that'll find the line. 10 metres away from Melbourne's try line. We'll take a break. Back in a moment, 6-all.
Some players aren't out for glory. For them, it's knowing they made it count.
Back live at Brookvale, 6-all between Manly and Melbourne. Only once in their matches has the visiting side won. That was Melbourne here way back the year they first won the premiership in '99.
Look how compressed this Manly defence is. Steve Maddai's in at the post. He's the left centre for Manly, and he's way in field. Look at that. He's right at the post. There's no one outside him. The winger's back. Melbourne would only need to put it through a couple of sets of hands, but Manly are backing that they won't do it.
Cronk clearing off his 20. Taken back by Brett Stewart. Manly seemingly concentrating much of their attack down the Melbourne left side. 40-metre line, William. Ballon for Cuthbertson. Adam will play the ball. 30 metres away from the Melbourne line. Orford short for Menzies. He beat Crocker, and he's put down 20 metres out. Ballon, Orford, inside, Watmo. And Watmo to play the ball at the 28th minute on the 5th tackle. Orford, the kick has gone straight to Anthony Quinn.
There's another one, Gus.
And another turn for Melbourne to come easily away from their in goal.
Gus, he's just really struggling at the moment. Orford putting the polish on the end of the sets of 6, and it can be the difference in this contest tonight.
Tossing a number of belly footies into the crowd. That's at half-time.
Such a big part of a halfback's game, particularly in the big games, where you're trying to wear your opposition out.
So Matty Orford has put a couple into the in goal. There's really been no challenge on the marker, and they've been able to come straight away to the 20-metre line for a tap. With our co-commentators firmly of the belief he should have been looking for another set. That is Jeremy Smith. Another of those that like to have their socks down. Here, Adam Blair of that variety. Brett Stewart, half challenged by Slater in midair.
Well, Slater chased that one so fast he had to stop. He was going to get there well before the ball, and that took the impetus out of his leap. I think the wind held it up and fooled him a little bit.
Good effort on the right wing by David Williams so far in the game. He's up against Origin winger Anthony Quinn at the moment. He's having the better of it. Maddai is with the ball. A couple of metres on his own side. Orford gets it away. Cuthbertson with the ball. The maroon and white headgear. Centre of the ground. 36 metres on 5 tackles. Into the last. Orford Johnson putting a lame charge down on him. Bouncing for Quinn. And away he goes, and he's tackled by Menzies. Bell over the top. Dyer. Sloter. Out to Slater. Slater into the ruck. And Cuthbertson wraps him up. Centre of the ground with Ballon. Play by Slater. Turner goes on. Turner will play the ball on the 40-metre line. Tackle was the 15. Bryant on top of Stewart. Smith. Johnson. Johnson to the 16. Manu. Sika Manu into the game now. Another of the socks down. Crunk on the 40-metre line. Wrapped up by Glenn Stewart to the short side. Smith at first receiver that time. Bouncing awkwardly. Robertson with it. Back in the field of play. Comes to Manu. And it's a penalty for being inside the 10 in front of the kicker.
Well, let's have a look here. Let's take stock. 31 minutes gone. What have we learned? We've learnt that Manly have worked hard on their defence this week to stop the Storm spreads. We've learnt that they've tried to be aggressive with the Storm to let them know they're in a physical game. And they've managed to upset the Storm a little bit because they've lost their rhythm. And after 31 minutes, we know we've got a real contest between these two teams.
So, Blair going in rather high as they take that first tackle of Manly. Now the third with Ballon. Tackled by Ryan Hoffman. Williamson on a dummy half. Orford across the back. Menzies to the blind side. And Menzies will play at 35 out from the line. 6-all. Orford drifting across. Now picking up Maddai. Maddai to Robertson. Robertson for the corner. Realises he had no territory. And just took the tackle. Maddai for Orford. Orford beats one. Gets a pass away miraculously. Glenn Stewart cleans it up. They lose a lot of ground. Stewart goes back. Puts a kick in the in goal. It's with Crump. Wishing it over the dead ball line.
Well, hang on, he's going to have a look.
Grounding there.
He's going to have a look at this. He's checking the grounding. See Glenn Stewart on his haunches. He was the guy that put the kick in. He's just a little bit winded. Okay, let's have a look at this. No, he's knocked it on. Great effort. He had a pretty decent go at it. Cooper Cronk really tempting fate there. But no try to Manly.
No try, and it'll be a breach against the attacking side in goal, so it'll come back to the 20 for the restart.
Yeah, another 20-metre tap. That time Orford decided to run the ball on tackle 5. Admittedly, he was pressured into it. But then a long pass went 20 metres backfield. Glenn Stewart did really well, nearly recovered. But again, they've let the Melbourne Storm out with a cheap 20-metre tap. If they could just get them for a couple of repeat sets, Melbourne are ready to be cracked. They're way out of rhythm now, the Melbourne Storm, and Manly are on top.
He's doing fantastically well, Glenn Stewart, but I don't know that I like the body language coming from him. Here's Hoffman. Just outside his own 40-metre line. Smith away for Johnson to go in. The 14 is Smith. Jeremy. And that's Mark Bryant with the ice pack. Smith to the halfway. Johnson on his inside. Johnson gets a ball away. Jeremy Smith gets it down to the Manly 30-metre line. 7 minutes from half-time. Cronk drifting across to Manu. And Manu proving a hard man to stop. 12 away from the Manly line. They've got to hold tight here. Cronk, he goes over to David Williams, and he comes down with no ball, but it's a penalty for a mid-air challenge.
Yeah, he tagged him in the air, Gus. The Wolfman has been very good so far. A big jump, and Quinn takes the man, not the ball. That's a penalty. We spoke about Glenn Stewart before. What you learn about those painkillers, they last about 30 minutes. That last 10 minutes before half-time can be agonising. So Glenn Stewart, he'll just hang in there till half-time, get another shot, and he'll be back out there.
Perry They take a short side play again. And again they go to Glenn Stewart. Well, if he is playing wounded, they're not avoiding him. Menzies, neat little step, gains about 10 metres. He'll play the ball 5 metres into Melbourne's area for Ballon to Orford, and Orford to Watmough, and Watmough to Brett Stewart, and then to Robertson, again down the left side, and again the cover comes across. That time from Turner. Here's Brett Stewart showing it on the inside twice, then runs and gives it to Cuthbertson, pushes it on to Perry. Perry's inside the 10. 4 metres out from the line on 5. Now what will Orford do? This time he goes to, I was going to say the ground, but he went to the stomach of Geyer, who knocks on.
That was a lovely pass there by Adam Cuthbertson. Brett Stewart raced across field with a little bit of sleight of hand, and he gave the ball to Cuthbertson with enough time for this very talented ball player to make something of it. And he got a beautiful pass on to Perry. Just watch Stewart, sleight of hand, gets it on to Cuthbertson, and then the little one-handed jab caught the Melbourne Storm defence napping, and Perry nearly pulled their pants down. Scrum feed here to Manly, lined out deep to the left. Again, it was a poor kick by Orford, but they've got a good result because Geyer couldn't clean it up. A big chance to score now.
To the open side, they come to Menzies! And Stephen Menzies plays the ball. 2 metres out from the line, Cuthbertson forced back. Williamson looking to run a decoy on the left side. So Ballon goes to Watmough. Watmough back to Brett Stewart. It's just a battle along the line. Robertson running an arc, taken by Turner. Turner in the 2, Jeremy Smith the 14, and Cameron Smith the 9. Now for Orford. Shows it in again, goes to Bell, and Stephen Bell is tackled 10 metres away in front of the uprights. To the right again, Ballon for Orford. Orford back for Watmough. Watmough beats one, gets it away for Perry, and Perry goes to ground. The ball going to ground, so a scrum will restart 10 metres out.
This is great football. Manly are really into their rhythm. They're moving the ball, inside passes, changes the direction, throwing everything they can at them. Their fifth tackle options are poor, but you've got to commend the Melbourne Storm defence, who keep aiming up. They keep finding the right man to make the tackle, and they've held them out. 6-all, 3.5 minutes before the break. Good game of footy.
And I think Craig Bellamy, I think one of the messages at half-time, we haven't seen enough of Cameron Smith if you're a Melbourne fan. I think that hit from Matai early on has just rattled him a little bit. This is playing market football. He's narrowed his focus too far.
3 minutes of the first half remaining. It looks like Jeremy Smith, and it is. 32 metres out from his own line. Playing it for Smith, spinning it to English. Away from Cronk, back to Slater, who has to flick it out the back again for Cronk. He gets the ball away, and the 15 is Blair, and he's taken down.
You can tell Melbourne weren't expecting this rush defence from the Manly side. It's really getting under their goat.
Here's Cronk with a little kick, looking for Slater, finding Slater. Slater finds Folau. Folau will gallop away and score. A brilliant try for Melbourne. Wonderful kick by Cronk. A great regather by Slater. And then it was Israel Folau. High, wide and handsome for the corner.
Well, you've got to say it's against the run of play. But that's what great teams and great players can do for you. The Manly defence was rushing up and making them feel uncomfortable. So Cooper Cronk and Billy Slater, this is a marvellous pickup by Slater. Then the speed on to Folau, the long striding Folau. Menzies comes across from the other side of the field. But in one twinkling of an eye, the Melbourne Storm break this game open with just a touch of brilliance from the 3 really great footballers. Cronk, Slater, Folau.
What about that? What a big moment. Just as half-time is drawing to an end, or we're getting towards half-time, 1 minute to go before the break, And that's the strength of the individual sometimes in these tight games and the big occasions. Just a bit of brilliance from a special individual. Slater's pickup, absolutely brilliant. A big kick from Cameron Smith.
You won't see a better display of rugby league skills in attack than we just saw. Cooper Cron's kick was absolutely pinpoint. Slater's pickup was just incredible. And then the big fella opened up the 8 cylinders that he possesses. Israel Folau to score.
Particularly in the context of the game, Rabbits, because Manly were on top. Melbourne was struggling at that point, but they've still got the courage of their conviction. They still back their ability to come up with a play like that. Cameron Smith for the icing on the cake.
At 10-6, before we go to the break, we know one thing: Melbourne have gone to the bottom of their bag of tricks to lead at half-time. They pulled out one of their biggest players. They've called on their biggest players, and they lead at half-time 10-6. In the grand final, they led 10-4. In round 5, they led 14-0. Tonight, it's 10-6 in favour of Melbourne. We're going to half-time, and don't forget, of course, the Dragons and the Tigers coming up immediately after this. Matty Johns, Ben Aikens with the Bundy big plays and the Gatorade Gator Cam, all in the big Holden half-time on VB Friday Night Football.
There's a new force in paradise. From the glittering shores of the Gold Coast
To the weapons down!
comes the year's hottest drama.
So do you sleep with all your partners?
McLeod's daughters Aaron Jeffrey.
Who's been a naughty little Vegemite?
Bad cop comes easy to you, doesn't it?
Underbelly's Frankie J. Holden.
Hello.
And introducing Vanessa Gray.
I don't sleep with people I work with.
So much for the perfect couple.
New Australian drama, The Strip, coming soon to 9.
Honestly, nothing surprises me what I see at Bunnings. We carry everything from timber all the way through down to the green life. Nails, your hammer, your screws, anything that opens and shuts that you need in hardware, we've got it.
Merbu decking, $360 per metre. Extension lead, $19.89. Patio heater, $169. Treated pine sleepers, $11.90 each. Potted colour, 5 for just $10.
Build it, fix it, nail it, hammer it, it's all here.
Bunnings Warehouse. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
Hey, you need to change your thinking. Iced tea is not cold tea. Cold tea is not iced tea. One is yak. One is yum. Yak, yum, yum, yak. Get it? Shh. Change the way you think, because change is good.
Nestea, deliciously refreshing iced tea with a twist of real fruit. One taste will change your mind.
Crowd on the tipping point of their seats. Reality drops. Order and truth returned. No, a dive. Hopes plunged into chaos. Ref sticks to his stubborn word. For one tribe, a worldview returned. The other, shattered.
With Dodge Nitro's innovative features, every night can feel like Friday night.
All-Star Action Weekend at Domain, starting 7 a.m. this Saturday and Sunday. Get ready for your last chance on 1,000 days interest-free. Get set. All-Star specials on the hour, like 25% off fabric lounges, $180 off this Samsung 42-inch plasma, 20% off heaters, $250 off the Apple iMac, $500 off this Sleepmaker Queen Ensemble, $200 off this Miele washer, and many more sensational offers across the store. Domain's All-Star Weekend. Don't miss out.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Would you like a hot and spicy fillet? Oh, this is my brother.
What's it like?
KFC's mixed fillets meal. Hot and spicy fillets for a full-on flavour hit, plus original recipe fillets and your favourite sides.
What's it like?
Bring back dinner with KFC's mixed fillets meal.
Can't beat that taste.
At the new Holden, Colorado. Proudly bringing you Holden halftime.
Yeah, welcome to Holden halftime here at Brookvale Oval. You enjoying that? Absolutely sensational. The Melbourne Storm grab a try late. 10-6 to the Storm over the home side, Manly. The match stats, a little bit of extra possession to Manly. Not a lot in it. Benny Eichen, what about that? Absolutely sensational. That first 20 minutes, how torrid was it?
Oh, I can't believe how intense a contest this has been. The fans have really turned out in their droves and got what they've deserved. It's been a fantastic contest. There's the Melbourne Storm sheds. They'll go into the break knowing that they've given their all. So too the Manly Seagulls. Des Hasler and Craig Bellamy would both be happy with their teams. I think after a slow start from Manly, they bounce back into the contest. And if the second 40 is anything like the first 40, this is going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's have a look at the Bundy big plays. Benny had started off with a great try to Matty Geyer.
Well, I thought this was off the back of a whole heap of creative play around the play the ball. And it was Cooper Cronk and Billy Slater that combined for both the Storm tries. They set up here, Matt Geyer, and look, this is what they're best at. But Manly strike back through an unfashionable back rower. Glenn Hall, of all the high-profile back rowers out in the field, he come up with a great play. And then, of course, the Storm will close out the first half of this match with some superb football. Cronk and Slater again, and onto this man, Israel Folau. What a superstar he is.
Yeah, big Israel, he is a superstar. Now, one of the big talking points of the first half was a no try to Brett Stewart. Got to say, Benny, I think he stinks. No good, bad decision.
I'm with you, I'm holding my nose. You can't see me behind the footage here. Look, it's one of those things in the context of the game. Do you give it? I think you do, but the decision was made and you've got to live with it, don't you?
Yeah, unfortunately you do. The Manly fans were absolutely filthy, and I've got to say, rightfully so. Now, there it is, no try, penalty. Now, the Gatorade Gator Camp tonight on two superstars. Actually, first of all, let's talk about the big hits in the game. Okay, some of the beauties early on from Manly. Started with Stevie Maddai. What a rattler, Benny.
Look, there's no doubting that Manly have gone to their player book and said, look, one of the areas of deficiencies in the last few weeks has been our defence, particularly in the decision-making. But these hits we're seeing here, this isn't about brains, this is pure anger. They come out, they were mad, they wanted to bash the Melbourne Storm, they did exactly that. And those hits there that we just saw on screen were perfect examples of, I think, the mindset of the Manly Seagulls here tonight in front of their home crowd.
Here it is now, Benny. The two fullbacks are superstars in our Gator camp, and that's Brett Stewart and Billy Slater. What do you thought? Who's got the points in the first half?
I think Slater's got them. They've both been very good and both been very busy. Look, I like Brett Stewart. He's got a wonderful record here. I think this is his 50th game at Brookvale tonight. He scored 46 tries. Really turns it on for the home crowd. But Billy Slater, look, he was involved in both the tries. He works wonderfully well around the middle of the field with Cameron Smith and Cooper Cronk. And again, being superb. He had that breakthrough suspension 2 weeks ago, missed the Warriors game, come back last week, was exceptional, and tonight he's gone to another level. I think he's been the best player on the park for the Storm.
Benny, I think at the moment, I think in the last 12 months, he's been the best week-to-week player in the competition.
Look at that pickup.
Yeah, sensational.
You know,
that's what you talk about. To split a tight contest like that, just a moment of brilliance from Slater. Okay, righto, Benny. What's Bellamy saying? What do you think? You've been coached by the bloke, or he's trained you?
I think he says to the boys, let's just play through the middle of the field. I think that lateral shift that they tried last week against the Titans, they've got to move away from that. When they play through the middle third, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk get busy, Storm are hard to beat.
One-word answer, can Manly win it?
My oath they can. They are fired up, and I'm loving this. I'm loving this. It's great football.
Right, go take a seat, cool down, Benny, have a Gatorade. We're going to go to a break when we return all the second half action. And don't forget our second game tonight, the Dragons up against the Tigers down in Wollongong.
Hudson to head, he floats it out, they're going to make it, Dean Hellertow. Lawrence is with him, he kicks back to the centre, and the 15 Fulton. Fulton gets it over for the Tigers.
You think that was tough? Check out the new Holden, Colorado. Proudly bringing you Holden halftime.
Bloody idiots. On 60 Minutes, going undercover to hunt down teenage street racers.
One of the drivers fired a shot.
Also, the foxy First Lady of France. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Nice work, Robbo.
Thanks, Bunning. Thanks, man.
Despite the fact that it's been practically proven, a salad's useless. Some people, like the ladies, seem to think that you should at least look like you're trying. That's why we at 4 and 20 have developed this, the magic salad plate. To the untrained eye, it appears you're having a salad, but really it's just part of the plate. Here's how it works.
Look, Sue, those guys are having salad with their pies. Let's give them our phone numbers.
It's a scientific miracle. Have a lunch that's edible on a plate that's credible. Order your magic salad plate now.
Are you getting all these rewards from your insurer? If you think it's time to get a better deal on your comprehensive car insurance, call 132 132 or visit your local office.
Looking for real entertainment? Buy $5 worth of any instant scratchies and get a free Cadbury chocolate, plus a chance to win one of 21 LG packages with a Scratch, Snack and Relax promotion.
Scratch me heavy!
Bluetooth activated.
04 double help 645
With tons of technology, you'll love that Outlander. Love that car.
In my charity work, I meet so many women with osteoporosis. It's a real worry. I thought I got enough calcium from my food, but I don't. My doctor told me to take Caltrate to help prevent osteoporosis. 1 woman in 3 over 45 will develop osteoporosis. Women should have up to 1,300 milligrams of calcium daily. Do you eat all this every day? That's why Caltrate calcium supplement can be so important. It's never too early or too late for Caltrate. Are you getting enough calcium?
All-Star Action Weekend at Domain, starting 7 a.m. this Saturday and Sunday. Get ready for All-Star specials on the hour, every hour. Get set for 1,000 days interest-free. Must end this weekend. Go! All-Star savings, All-Star deals. Domain's All-Star Weekend.
Friday Night Football brought to you by Gatorade. 40 years of research in every bottle. VB, the best cold beer. The 4 and 20 Magic Salad Plate. Bundaberg Rum, our rum since 1888. KFC, where the chicken is prepared fresh in the 11 herbs and spices. Bunnings Warehouse, where lowest prices are just the beginning. And Holden, Colorado. Tough has a new name.
Welcome back to Brookie. 10-6 to score. Melbourne. Great first half of football. Manly, a try disallowed for Brett Stewart after Anthony Quinn appeared to us to be blocking passage of Brett Stewart. Guarding Billy Slater, try disallowed, penalty Melbourne. And then Manly struck back to level at 6-all, and then just before half-time, we have seen a classic rugby league try displayed by 3 of the big guns for Melbourne: Cronk, Slater and Folau. And when they dig that deep and they bring out something like that, you know that they have been extended. And Phil Gould in his commentary kept saying that they look a little bit flustered. They weren't expecting the defence to be coming up as quickly and as often as Manly were. The gut feeling is that Manly, though, have to be the next to score. That scoreline is very similar to the grand final. And in Melbourne at the start of the year, again, the scoreline was in favour of Melbourne, and they ran away with that match as well. 7 tries in the grand final, 5 in round 5 this year. So they love to be in front, they love to lead, to dictate. So Manly, in my opinion, have to be the next to score.
Be interesting to see what that try just before half-time does to the Manly psychology, particularly in defence. Very effective tonight, running up quickly. said a number of times they were bustling the Melbourne Storm. The Storm didn't feel comfortable. Suddenly the Storm have shown they'll chip kick over the top. Now, what does that do to Manly's mindset? Do they keep rushing up, or suddenly do they start to protect the backfield? It's a great play by the Melbourne Storm. Throws another dimension into this game. Here we go again, Rabbits.
Manly then running left to right. Running down towards the school end of the ground. And it's with Melbourne just outside their 10-metre line. Melbourne, of the last 54 times when they've led at half-time, have lost only once. It was against the Warriors back in 2006. So you don't want to be trailing the Storm at half-time looking at those figures. Yet Manly's records in the second half, in their last 8 second halves, have conceded very, very few points indeed. Something like 38 points in their last 8 games, an average of about 4.5 points per half they've made available to their opponents in the last 8 games they've played. Johnson plays the ball then. Inglis at the back of the first set. Gives it away for Orford to send it down. And Robertson comes running away. Outside the 20, running straight at the defence. And Johnson leading the way with Hoffman. Brett Stewart then using David Williams, who, as I said in commentary, appeared to me to be having a shade the better of it against Anthony Quinn, who is an outstanding winger. Here's Glenn Stewart getting a ball away. And Menzies will play it. 7 or 8 metres his own side of halfway for Cuthbertson now to keep the roll going. Good quick play the balls. And they're not always available against Melbourne, as you know. Ballon goes away to the left to Orford and then to Watmough. And Watmough will play the ball on the 40-metre line. 5 gone then for the Manly Eagles, for Ballon out of dummy half to put a kick in. And it goes straight to Anthony Quinn. He's going across towards Slater. But Menzies led the chase with the kicker Ballon. And they put him away with Glenn Stewart's help, 20 metres out from Melbourne's line. Now Matt Guy, who was the first try scorer in the game, is tackled just outside the 30-metre line. 10-6 in favour of Melbourne. At the 42nd minute of the game, here's Inglis, 10 metres short of halfway. Cameron Smith, the ball away to Jeremy Smith it is. He'll play the ball just a couple of metres into Manly's area. Played back and away it goes now to Orford, and it's gone on out wide. In fact, that is Jeremy Smith in 14. Adam Blair it was with the previous carry. Manu going across to run a decoy. Slater doesn't need him. Puts a kick down the short side. And a neat kick it was too. Finding the line about 2 metres away from the corner post. Not a bad trick, actually. Slater was very close to the sideline when he put his boot to ball from dummy half. Had little to work in, and he's found it a couple of metres out.
There's a bit of everything these days, Billy Slater. The last 2 years, he's really evolved as a ball player. That's a tremendous little kick, takes a lot of pressure off Cameron Smith and Cooper Cronk.
Well, a lot of people are of the opinion he's the most valuable player in the competition. Des Hasler barking instructions down to his runners. As Menzies passes away for Stephen Bell, and Bell just inside the 20-metre line. Playing it for Brett Stewart, who goes to Steve Menzies. Menzies looks at Johnson. The ball came away. It's gone back to Brett Stewart, and he's ordered a knock-on.
Technical knock-on. The Beaver juggled that. I think it helped. He hit the Melbourne Storm player in front of him, even though he regathered it. Got the ball in one hand. The ball comes loose. Hits Hoffman in the leg. That's a knock-on. Mr. Bellamy, he applauds that. He likes that. Don't often see him happy.
Don't often see him quite as urgent as that either. So Folau is with the ball. He's playing at 5/8 for the scrums. As Cameron Smith. There's a short pass away for Smith. For Jeremy. Danger looming for Manly. Johnson, short. Cameron Smith to the back for Inglis. And Inglis 5 metres out from the line. Taken down by Anthony Watmough. He slowed it right down, did Watmough. Now from Cronk back to Johnson. And Johnson taken by Williamson and by Ballon. Melbourne wide to the right of the ground as Orford goes there. And it's gone back to Manu. And Manu strong through the legs. Is a couple of metres out from the line. Last tackle for Melbourne. Now they go back for the kick for Cronk. And he stabs it Over in front of the upright. Slater puts in a bat down. It's been knocked down.
Well, he's called it off Manly.
I think he said Manly first.
Yep, he did, Rabs. Adam Blair had the ball knocked out by Manly, and a repeat set of 6 for the Storm. A big set of 6 coming up. Slater flew high back on the inside. You see Blair come up with the ball, and Brett Stewart just dislodges it.
Wow, that's a mighty big call. Not many defences hold the Melbourne Storm out when they get a couple of opportunities. They'll do well here, Manly, if they can.
Johnson back at the scrum, going around and fighting Inglis, and Inglis is under a 3-man Manly tackle, including Orford and Cuthbertson. Cameron Smith sweeping it away to the right. And this is Manu out of one, struggling to get away from another. And Manu is held by Dallin and Williamson. They sweep it away to the right. Cronk showed it inside. Menzies tried to shut the gate, but the gate came open. And Cooper Cronk gets Melbourne's try, their 3rd of the night.
We said he tried to shut the gate. And Cooper Cronk just kicked it open again. That was determination. Shows inside. Lunges at the line. Legs pumping, driving. Second effort. Get out of my way. Melbourne Storm increase their lead.
If you can buy a product that we stock somewhere else for less, we'll match that price and take 10% off it. No problem. It's not a haggle. You're not haggling. Come in, we'll fix it. Done.
Timber laminate floor, $13.58 per square metre. Toilet suite, $99. Cordless screwdriver, $19.96. Sellies all clear, $7.69. If you happen to find a cheaper price on a stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%.
The lowest price in the marketplace every day.
Bunnings Warehouse. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
So back live at Brookvale, the opening match that you're going to see tonight, the one you're watching live from the peninsula. And Cooper Cronk, the number 7 for Melbourne, has scored their 3rd try. 14-6, and the conversion to be taken by the captain, Golden Boot winner of 2007, Cameron Smith, who was on the end of a bell ringer in the opening 2 minutes from Steve Matai. Matthew John's of the opinion that it quietened his performance down for the following 37 minutes. The 25-year-old captain of Melbourne, Cameron Smith, to convert Cooper Cronk's try, and he does that. He takes it out to 16 points to 6 at the 48th minute. Melbourne leading Manly. Ben Aikens on the sideline.
If Cameron Smith and Billy Slater are important to the Melbourne Storm, so too this man. Just re-signed for 5 years. Last week, laid on about 6 tries. Had a hand in the first 2 tries of the Melbourne Storm in the first half, and he's at it again. What a player.
He is indeed, and was recognised to wear the green and gold at the back end of last year. 20 metres away now from the Melbourne line. 16-6, they find a little bit of a comfort zone. Now Melbourne out to the 30-metre line, and that is Turner, who's brought down in a 2-man tackle by Matai and Cuthbertson. Through from Johnson, it's gone away from Smith. It's found Cronk, and Cronk will play it on the 40-metre line. So Smith again, from Cameron to Jeremy. Tongue twisters galore in this competition. Cameron Smith to Cooper Cronk, and his kick going down towards the line. It's going top spinning away over the dead ball line.
Yeah, and it just runs dead, but one of the cornerstones of this side, the Melbourne side, is Cooper Cronk. The consistency and the quality of his kicks, and leading into his try, it was his kick that got them the repeat set. He's just a very, very consistent player. As important as Cameron Smith, Billy Slater, Inglis, they're the stars. He steers the ship.
So Manly desperately now need to be down the other end and putting some points, counter-punching some points back onto the scoreboard. 30 away from their own line with Ballin. Out to the 40 before finding Orford, who finds Brett Stewart, who finds Steve Matai. Now they go to Michael Robertson. Robertson a fan with a breakaway. Brett Stewart's with him, puts the ball back, hoping for the best, and it's a knock-on by Melbourne.
Oh, lucky to get away with that. It was good footy by Manly. A change of direction from open side back to the short blind side. Caught them short. Beautiful quick hands there by Maddie. Some strength here by Robertson. He gets on the outside, gets it back inside to Stewart. That's a speculator, not needed that one. Getting up and playing the ball is a lot better than throwing a pass to your opposition. But he gets the let off because the Melbourne Storm actually knocked this on. The 15 there, Blair, has knocked it on and given Manly another opportunity. They need points here, Rabbits. Come on.
Here's Manly. What do you mean, come on? Do you think I'm going to score?
You can lift him.
Menzies, 18 metres away from the Melbourne line. Here's Glenn Stewart. Taken down right in front of the uprights. Down the Pittwater Road end of the ground. Glenn Stewart thought he might have got a penalty. Wide ball for Perry. It's gone away to Orford. It's with Brett Stewart. He goes infield for Steve Maddie. Maddie so close. Called tackle in the field of play. So slow play the ball. Ballon for Orford. Orford back behind Perry. Going to Glenn Stewart. Second man behind Bell. Finds Menzies. Menzies for David Williams. Manly are in. David Williams has scored. There'll be no inquiry. There'll be no video replay for Stephen Clark on this one.
That's great football from the Sea Eagles. A wide set play to the left-hand side of the field. Nearly saw Maddie get into the in goal. And from the very next play, they come all the way across. Lovely selective pass there by Glenn Stewart. Menzies holds it up as long as he can and then gives his winger Williams just enough time to skirt around Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn couldn't wait any longer. Williams scores. Manly are back into the brookie.
Just here is fine, thanks, Grant.
Hi, Grant. Thanks, Mrs. D. We should organise a taxi now for after the game.
Don't worry, Grant's coming back.
Got a teeth. Nice work, Steve-O. Always thinking ahead.
Don't miss the #1 phenomenon that is record-breaking and history-making.
Batman has no limits.
Experience The Dark Knight.
There he is, the Wolfman. David Williams scores for Manly. He's racked up 10 for the year.
Hey, mate, your man Steve Maddie has brought this ball back such a long way. He's brought it back 29 metres and on the touchline. This is a massive kick, particularly into the breeze.
He doesn't like acute angles.
Well, he's taken it back as far as he possibly can. He can't get the distance, surely.
Here it goes. He spun it away. Straight across the face of the uprights. You're absolutely right. He didn't have the distance.
And a nice play here from the Manly Seagulls. The Melbourne Storm too compressed. And nice select passing from Matty Orford and Glenn Stewart. And like last week, it's Beaver and the Wolfman, part 2. And the Wolfman, a bit of blood in the nostrils. He loves the try line. Having a great night. Williams.
That's important for Manly, you know, because they threw absolutely everything into that first half. Heart and soul stuff. Physical. They were unlucky to be behind at half-time, and suddenly they found themselves 10 points adrift. They had to hit back, and they've done it.
Josh Perry won himself a grand final in 2001. Ballon with a search down the left side. Played on the 30-metre line. Back to Brett Stewart. Back for Anthony Watmoe. Arthroscopy about 10 days ago. Back on the field. Doing his best for Manly. We'll never know if he's playing in pain. We don't know if Glenn Stewart's playing in pain. Josh Perry getting it across to Adam Cuthbertson.
They're all in pain out there, Rabbits. If you're not in pain, you're not doing your job, and they're all doing their job.
Orford kicks high, making Slater move. Turner got under it well, and Maddie claimed him. 12 away from the Melbourne line. Now it's back for Quinn. I can't work out why they're in the strip that they're in. I understand they're away strip, but oh, gee. Watmoe on Slater and Matai on Slater. Bang, down he goes.
This is good stuff.
Take a bit of that. Now Kafusi. He gets rid of Perry.
What a difference a try makes.
Now Cameron Smith with a little searching run away to Glenn Hall and Anthony Watmoe. They put him down 38 out on 5. Just 22 metres in that for Melbourne as Cronk puts a kick away. Bouncing down for Dave Williams. Back he comes to Glyer and Hoffman. They try to bring him down. They do eventually. Menzies went open, went blind with the pass to Bell. Halfway line for Stephen Bell. Brett Stewart. Glenn Stewart. Has to break them. Cameron Smith and Dallas Johnson have been tested many times. There's seldom a gap between them. Maddox, a dance to Falau. Looking to unload, lays it back. Dived on by Robertson. So they're on the 30-metre line. They're on the eastern touchline in front of the packed hill here at Brookvale. Wonderful crowd. Beautiful landscape. As it goes off the right foot of Orford. High into the end goal. It'll be a 20-metre restart. So again, they get this easy passage away from danger.
Played again, Sam. Matty Orford again, all the running at the moment with Manly, but that really halts your momentum. You just can't, when you've got an opportunity to get a repeat set or put pressure with a kick, you can't give 22 starts like that.
Manly have scored 52 second-half tries. Their nearest rival is Melbourne. 9 tries astern. And the natives are getting a little bit restless.
Yeah, this is a good period of the game. Both sides are ripping into each other at the moment. Both sides probably feel next try wins. And some good physical defence there by Manly. Put some pressure on the Melbourne Storm to get over the advantage line. As a result, they come up with a forward pass off the dummy half. And Cameron Smith, just a little lazy tonight. Just a little laconic out of that dummy half area. He hasn't had any runs himself. He hasn't been aggressive. Manly forced the error.
Back of the scrum play, and they put it down on the first. Stephen Bell, Orford, Glenn Stewart, Stephen Bell to ground.
Oh, that's a killer. That right there is a killer. Little set player, worked so good Thursday night at training. It was a beauty. We went up the middle and scored, but the change of direction, Bell wanted to go inside, the ball went outside. He was running onto it before the pass was thrown, and it had come unstuck. That's a momentum killer.
So just outside his own 30-metre line, Falau was who played the ball. This is Manu. He's hard to stop, isn't he, Sika Manu?
He has been tremendous, Sika Manu.
They just keep finding them, don't they? Here is Johnson, eventually put down by Bell and Stewart.
So too's he just quietly.
From Cameron Smith to Glenn Inglis, and it's gone, Greg Inglis, I should say, and back on the inside to White. He'll play the ball. Cameron Smith, right side. Cronk, second man, and it's with Inglis. He got rid of Menzies. That was embarrassing for the great man. But he's doing a fine job, isn't he? Last year of NRL for Steve Menzies, and he's still able to play as brilliantly as he does. Laid that last try together. Now it's away for Bell. Manly passing on their own 10-metre line.
Well done there by Matty Orford. We've questioned his kicking game, but he got back there, read that one well, and then had the confidence to show the pass out wide. Here's Brent Kite being thrown back into the action. Here's Orford. Back there, big leap by the little fella. Saw some space out wide through the pass the ball.
Played by Brett Stewart now. And here's Robertson trying to get rid of Hoffman. He does, and Hoffman chases him down like a fugitive. Puts him down 40 away from the Manly line. Here's Lestrange. Driven back by his opposite number, Cameron Smith. Glenn Hall had to go to dummy half urgently. Orford put a kick down, but it was straight to Slater, who picks it up on the half volley like it's easy to do. And then he slipped and he fell into the grasp. The waiting tackle of Maddox.
Look at the forwards on both sides. A lot of tired big men out there with 21 minutes to go. Yeah, big hit from Maddox. He's claimed a few victims tonight. I tell you, it's going to be a little man through the middle that's going to win this, going to break this game open.
So 16-10 in favour of Melbourne. Kafusi finding White, and White was tackled right on the 40-metre line. The groan was the suggestion of a forward pass. Here's Kafusi again. An Australian jumper and a Queensland jumper to his credit. On the halfway line, Cameron Smith, left foot kick. rubbering down. Beautifully picked up by Brett Stewart. And he's back to the 30-metre line for Manly.
What about those two kick-ups? First by Slater and then by Brett Stewart. So confident in their own ability.
Williams now. Playing it for Lestrange, who comes back. Oh, Stephen Bell. Half slipped and half tackled by Inglis. Now, Brent Kite, who started the game at 100 miles an hour. Playing the ball on the halfway line. Lestrange for Orford. Orford goes back for Menzies. They go wide to Matai. Matai looking to unload. Gets it back to Menzies. Decoy run Orford. Lestrange with the ball. And he's tackled 32 metres out from the Melbourne line. From Hall. Short side for Orford. He puts the banana together. Down she goes. Brett Stewart's after Slater. Slater held the ball out and kept the ball in the field of play. Here's Guy.
Outrageous, isn't it? Billy Slater.
Penalty Melbourne.
It's unbelievable. Some of the things Billy Slater does, he's a man with no conscience. Look at that. Unbelievable, the height of the bloke.
That was a bit silly again there from Manly. They had the Melbourne Storm under pressure and they just tempted fate jumping out too quickly, and again the Storm get an easy passage out of their end zone. That's that six times tonight with line dropouts, 20-metre taps and penalties.
Oh, gee, that was heavy there on Greg Inglis. Perry got involved and Hall got involved. Cameron Smith may look away to Kafusi. And Antonio will play the ball from Tonga originally. On the bench for Melbourne tonight, 3 NZers and a Tongan with 12 test caps between them. Now for Cronk. Cronk on for Johnson. Johnson stepping but running into Hall and Watmough. 29 metres out. Played to Cameron Smith. Here they come again. Inglis held on to by Menzies and Stewart. Cam Smith to the right side. Cronk to Slater. He puts a kick over. Right down by Falau. Forward to Michael Crocker. No doubt about that.
Yeah, if it was Cooper Cronk there, I would have had a look at the post and maybe had a shot for field goal. I know there's 17 minutes to go, but the game's got that sort of feeling about. Look, he's right in front of the post. He could have had an easy shot there, but they decided to run it, and a nothing kick on the outside. They should try and get their 1 point when Manly are not expecting it. Might be too hard later.
There's Matai playing the ball on his own 30-metre line. Now for Brent Kite. And he's to play the ball inside the 40-metre red line. Now for Watmough. Picked up and taken back by Cronk. Falau goes in over the top just to slow the tackle down again. Now it's from Orford. It's gone short for Hall. And Hall to the halfway line. In the VB Friday Night Football side. Ball is played and has gone away to Robertson. He puts a kick high and across. Slater eyes it off. Slater coming away from his own 20-metre zone. He sweeps around Orford. Then he sweeps around one of his own players. Archer said no obstruction. Got a pretty hot reception from the crowd. Quinn taken down on the 30-metre line. Driving tackle by Watmough. Cam Smith now for White and has gone away. That's a very good pickup by Lehman. Tackled by Stephen Bell. Here goes Guy. And Guy was going to play the ball 7 or 8 metres his own side of halfway. 16-10 in favour of the Premiers. Here's Lima. 7 metres onto Manly side of halfway, taken by Glenn Stewart. It goes from Cameron Smith to Cooper Cronk, and the Melbourne number 7 has been absolutely brilliant tonight, but that kick is rolling away and down over the dead ball line.
Glenn Stewart really struggling in back play now. Here he is. It's not the shoulder, it's the leg. He He's limping back into position. There's a lot of other players out there really starting to feel the pinch, none more than he.
Surprisingly, they're getting Cuthbertson out there and bringing Glenn Hall from the Adam Cuthbertson.
Obviously, Desi Hasler knows Glenn Stewart's needed out there. He's got to go the distance. I think he's just about their most important player.
There's Mark Bryant now, feeling the shoulder of Lima and the tackle of Smith. Played by Bryant and Lestrange. Second man away to Orford. Orford away to Cuthbertson. Cuthbertson held by Geyer. Might get it away. Does. Gets it on to Menzies. Menzies then puts his challenge together on the 40-metre line. They might pinch the ball here. They had a good dip at it. White had a good shot at it. Couldn't get it. Menzies plays it then. Lestrange for Kite. And Kite held up by Melbourne defenders, three of them involved in the tackle. Lima was one, White was another. As Orford puts the kick in, over towards the uprights, Slater guarding. And he just lost sight of it for a moment, didn't quite know where it was going.
They've got the run of the play, Manly. They're winning the game. They're winning the yardage game. They're winning field position. But they just can't get the attacking kicks in at the moment. They just can't get a repeat set or put a kick up to challenge for points.
Play then just outside the 20-metre line. Melbourne's end of the ground. Melbourne holding a 6-point lead. It got out to 16-6 as Inglis gets some bandaging around that right ankle. Played by Hoffman, and Cameron Smith goes to Antonio Kafusi. He'll play it a few metres into Manly's area now. A bruising first half, which saw Melbourne go to a half-time break at 10-6, and they put it over the line now, and we will take a break and come back 16-10. Back at Brookvale in front of a packed house. 16-10, Melbourne leading with 13 minutes of the game to go. And Stephen Bell with a weaving run. He's tackled 20 metres out from his own line. They always slow the tackle down, Melbourne, don't they? Played then by Cuthbertson. Don't get me wrong, I'm just making a comment, not a criticism. If they can do that and slow it down as long as they can and get away with it, they're good tactics. Here's Watmo. From Lestrange, it's gone to Orford. A show, and then a give, and it's Menzies. Menzies. Now, Stephen Bell was far too prominent. David Williams getting it in. Oh, dear, Anthony Quinn. Now,
that's crazy.
This has certainly erupted the situation. There's no need for that.
That is a crazy bit of play from Anthony Quinn. It was a bad pass. They had Manly pinned in their own half, and it was just, you could only say it was a rush of blood. Let's have a look at this. He picks him up, probably try to push him towards the sideline, but just gives him the old suplex. If you're a fan of the WWE, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
Just let me defend Quinn a little bit. I'm not defending the tackle. He's lifted him into a dangerous position. They've got the penalty, Manly. That's the aftermath. But the point is that Williams was happy to lie there and volunteer a tackle. But all Quinn had to do was put a hand on him and it would have been a tackle. Instead of that, he lifted him up into a dangerous position. Here's Kite. To the 20-metre line. Good run by the front forward for Manly. Big game. Lestrange. Orford running to a hole, which has been closed by Crocker and Inglis. Now Watmo. Dummies to Lestrange. Goes back. Orford's with the ball. Now it's Robertson. And a maul of players around him. 2 metres out from the line. Maddie, terrible pass. Orford back to Lestrange. And Lestrange will play the ball. 5 gone for Manly. 2 metres away from the southern try line. Now from Orford. Then Menzies. Run around for Menzies and he knocks on. The back end of the play falling down.
5th tackle again. 5th tackle option again for Manly. Relieves the pressure for Melbourne. I'm telling you this, we've had 69 minutes played, and I would say for probably 55 of those minutes, Manly have been on top. Been behind on the scoreboard, but physically on top of the Melbourne Storm. They just find a way to keep hanging in there.
He's lost the ball, Anthony Quinn. Now, Archer was going to put a scrum down, then he's asked his video referee to have a look at a possible steal.
Well, they picked him up in a dangerous position for a start. I think he's lost the ball, even though there's an arm there from Cuthbertson. It's not a great-looking tackle, and he's getting word from the video referee now. Here we go.
Tell you what, hand between the legs, puts him into a dangerous position as a penalty.
Yeah, that's okay. Happy with that. I'm glad it wasn't for the strip.
Was it Watmo? Is it Watmo? I think it is. No, it's Bryant.
Yeah.
Bryant with the hand in there between the legs.
This could be the set. This could be the set for Melbourne. They've got the field position. They've been under pressure for long, long periods. Here's a penalty. You would think in this set of 6, if they don't get the try, they're going to go for the point.
So Lima runs through Bryant and taken by Stewart. Then Johnson for White, and White taken down 30 metres out centre ground.
Well, they should just work in for it. No second option. Go straight to the post, get your 1 point lead by 7.
It's Dallas Johnson. Well, all they're doing is staying in the middle of the park. So are they setting for it? Here's another one down the middle. And Brett White. Now they're looking around for their kickers. Cronk is ready. It's going back to him. Cronk sets himself, hits it sweetly. Might have got off course, it did. No goal, Cooper Cronk.
Very professionally done, though. That's what a coach would want from their football team. It falls down with the kicker, but that's going to happen from time to time. But they got in great position. It was a smart thing to do. Manly dodged a bullet.
Anthony Watmo with the ball, Ben Aiken sideline.
Well, Gus is right. Manly have really gutsed this one out, but the game's on the line now. Under 10 minutes to go. Matt Orford needs to step up. He's the creative genius of this side. He needs to get his team home.
David Williams playing the ball. Dragons versus Tigers after this game. Another great game coming up for you just after our man of the match. The game from Wynn Stadium. Dragons and Tigers. Here's David Williams.
Last tackle. What's Orford going to come up with here? He's sitting on the short side.
Here it is, though. He puts the kick in, and it's top spinning away and finding the line.
See, and that's really, Melbourne are comfortable with that. It buys them time. It's good field position play, but it's a play you use early in the game when you're consolidating. When you're chasing 6 points, you're looking for a repeat set of 6. You're looking for pressure, opportunity, a little bit of something. Putting the ball into touch, isn't it?
I'd like to sit down with Matt Orford and watch him play and just say, what are you thinking about on 5th tackle? What is it going through your head? What's your intention? Because I honestly think he's got so much going through his head that he confuses himself in what option he wants to take. And at the end, it looks like he's rushing it because he's got to get something done.
This is Folau. Crowd is just short of 18,500 tonight. Certainly thought that it might have been more than that. Some very congested scenes through the crowd, particularly at the back of the Eastern Hill. Johnson, 28 away from his own line. And he will play it for Cameron Smith. And through from Cronk, it's gone to Michael Crocker. Nice pick-up by Turner, and then Turner pinches 15 metres for Melbourne. And he'll play the ball just into Manly's territory. 5 gone. Slater for Cronk. He changes his mind and changes his direction. Goes back for Cameron Smith. Williams goes back and gets a good bounce. He should make the 10. He'll do better than that. And eventually, he gets it out to the 20-metre line, bumping off Dallas Johnson. Robertson is met by Hoffman and Cameron Smith. Orford taking a look, going to Bryant. A forward hitter. 37 out from the home side's own try line. Now Lestrange just going ahead asking some questions. Jeremy Smith making the tackle. Hanging on as long as he could. Then it's with Glenn Stewart, and Stewart tackled by Cameron Smith, Crocker and Cronk. On the 40-metre line, Melbourne's end of the ground. Lestrange for Orford. Low, Slater covering a lot of ground, taking it in midair. And Slater is then met by a three-man Manly tackle. Watno in 18. The chief tackler is Quinn running at Cuthbertson. Play inside the 20-metre line.
In this period of the game, Manly, they're just playing an arm wrestle. They're chasing 6 points. Melbourne play an arm wrestle very good. Manly have got to come up with something, a little bit of something different than 5 hit-ups and knock it down to Slater.
Play by Lima now. And it's gone away forward to Jeremy Smith.
They're going to get opportunity now.
They're begging to get beaten, Melbourne. They are really begging to get beaten. I admire their courage because they've hung in here under pressure. And I don't think there's another team in the competition could come here to Brookvale and play a Manly side in this attitude and still be in front on the scoreboard. But they're also rattled, and they're inviting Manly in. That Manly just can't come up with a killer blow. They can't come up with the play. Waiting to get beaten, Melbourne.
And Liam Wood in St Vincent's recovering from a broken neck. Liam, a message from the Manly players. Best wishes from them to you. I know you're watching your team that you love at the moment. They're battling to get a victory for themselves and for people like you. Orford kicks. Brett Stewart's after it. Melbourne go into the defensive mode. They close the shop.
Well, there's a bit of initiative. Slater up in the front line. Orford just knocks it in behind. Nice play, made it a foot race, and Quinn read it very well. But a repeat set of 6 now for Manly.
Well, they deliberately ran it, Billy Slater off the scrum and made him make the tackle. If you watch where Billy Slater was at that play the ball, he was stumbling back from the tackle. They had made him make the tackle so they could kick him behind where he wouldn't be. The Storm read it well. They look tired, the Storm.
I think the man here for Manly might be Glenn Stewart. Keep an eye on Stewart. He could be the man to break this game.
They're going to have to find a man in a moment because it's 4.5 minutes from full time. Brent Kite continues to try and hammer the middle. Menzies gets a fortunate bounce, takes it down towards the 20-metre line. Tackled by 3 of the Melburnians. Menzies plays it for Lestrange. Then it goes to Glenn Stewart, using himself there as a link man. Cleary is with the ball. Now Manly on the third. 13 out from the line. Lestrange behind Cuthbertson to Orford. Second man to Maddai. Maddai got a ball away to Robertson. But Michael Crocker is there in defence with Steve Turner. Under 4 minutes to go. 2 tackles on this set. Orford for Perry, and Perry takes tackle 5. That's the 10-metre line in front of him. Here's Orford. Orford holding him back. Then he gets the kick in. And it's been lost, and it's been recovered by Melbourne. But it's a knock-on against them. It'll be a scrum 10 metres out with a Manly feed.
Well, it's come down to this. There's only 6 points in it. 3 minutes 28 on the clock as the referee stops. Slater couldn't get a grab on this. Finally, Orford came up with a kick that put some pressure on. And they're going to get a scrum feed 10 metres out. They need a try and a goal to level it up to send the game into extra time. The classic encounter, 1 versus 2. Melbourne hanging on, Manly coming after them.
So, Orford to feed the scrum. Won by Manly. Gone to Maddai. Tackled by Inglis, low. Slater high. So it's with Lestrange, now Cuthbertson. And Cuthbertson ducks under, tries to get free. He's a metre from the line. Wow. Close for Cuthbertson. Long ball for Perry. And Perry looking to free his arms. Still a metre. Lestrange, Orford, Stewart, dummies twice, finds his brother, and Brett Stewart is tackled. 3 metres out on 4. Menzies again. Now for Orford. Short ball. Watmo. Now for Kite. Out very wide, the prop forward. Now Maddai puts a kick in. He dives for the ball, but it came off Melbourne and went dead.
Oh, I thought he was going to get there. And Slater come from nowhere, out of the blue, and just pushed it dead. I thought it was all Maddai. No, it wasn't. It was Turner. Oh, look at that. And another set of 6 for Manly. Another set. Manly have been so good all year at their little set pieces. Can they execute one under pressure against the Premiers?
Maddai in trouble, big time. Now, Melbourne with a big drop kick from Cameron Smith. 50 metres from the Melbourne captain. Kite, he's tackled. 30 metres out from Melbourne's line. Maddai hobbling across the park. Perry with a surge. 20 metres out. Right in the centre of the ground. With a minute and a half to go. Glenn Stewart taken down. Tackled by Lima. Lestrange to run from dummy half. A dummy, and then he gets under the tackle of Jeremy Smith, who hangs on with his namesake. They make the tackle a metre out. Perry, a dummy half. Orford, dummies behind Cuthbertson. The ball finished up with Watmo. He put a kick on the ball, but it's gone dead. And it'll come out to the 20 for the restart.
If it does go to the... Oh, no, he's called for a line dropout.
No knock on, mate, off the foot.
No knock on, off the foot.
Like it's goal
line dropout. I was going to say that's the game, but with 1 minute to go, this is it. Oh, it's about 4 sets in a row for Manly. Oh. Well, he dropped it, but it just fell onto the foot from Watmo. A little bit of luck there, they'll take it.
So line drop out off Billy Slater's foot. Dragons, Tigers, another great game coming up in just a moment.
And it won't be good to beat this one. This has been a cracker. And with a minute to go, or 40 seconds to go, we're still not quite sure it's over.
Another sensational line drop out from Cameron Smith. Robertson's with the ball for Manly. And big Brent Kite holds him in the field of play over there.
2 tackles to go, Rabbits. 2 tackles for Manly.
Here's Watmo on one of them. Tackled 30 metres out from the line. A matter of 10 seconds to go. Orford away. Perry is with it. He'll take it to ground. They will get one more in. As Perry plays the ball. Lestrange, Orford, Stewart, Bell taken down. Got the ball away to Stewart. Goes across to Cuthbertson. It goes to Brent Kite. He throws the ball back. No knock on. Goes to Orford. Flings it across to the eastern side. Robertson's got the ball for Manly. He puts it out there. Cuthbertson's got the ball. He's lost it. It comes down to Melbourne. And that is thank you, linesman. Thank you, ball boys. Falau, the last man tackled. What a fantastic game of football. Melbourne winning the grand final replay. 16 over Manly 10. And only the second time Melbourne have won at Brookvale, the last time 1999. It's only the second time a visiting team of these two sides has been victorious since Melbourne joined the comp in 1998. So now they're level at the top of the table, and the differential favours Manly by 12 points. So they lead the race for the Liners Premiership now with that 12-point buffer in their favour. Matai, one of the injured, one of the walking wounded. There's plenty more to come as we soak it up. Some very tired footballers will come back with the Holden Colorado man of the match, and then straight to the WIN Stadium for the kick-off to the Dragons and the Tigers on Nine's Friday nights of Rugby League.